Hi, I'm Lee Elliott, Global Head of Occupier Research at Knight Frank. Today I'm joined by Amanda Lim, Partner in our Flexible Offices team, and James Fairweather, Partner in our London Tenant Representation team, to talk about the changing dynamic of London's occupational markets. So I guess there are three sort of specific themes that are running through the occupational market which we probably want to cover here today. Firstly, real estate as a strategic device, something that really matters for business. Secondly, changes in the operating environment, the business dynamic and how that percolates through into the real estate markets. And then finally, that all-important interrelationship between people and property. Let's start with the first. I mean, I've been talking for some time now in lots of Knight Frank's research about real estate being a strategic device, something that really matters to business in driving forward particular business agendas. And that's been very much borne out by our latest Your Space research. 400 global occupiers, 90% of whom say that real estate matters to them. It supports them in all kinds of areas such as brand, such as talent retention, cost control, all kinds of strategic issues that are facing business. I just wondered how that sort of plays out in the market. So James, how's that strategic intent really playing out in the requirements that are coming to you from clients?
So we've really seen a real flight to quality from our clients wanting to get the best in class new space. In 2008, 2012, we saw an average between 8 and 12% of tenants wanting new space and taking new space. We've actually seen now in 2019, 21% took new space, and in 2020, we actually saw 28% of taking new space. So real flight to quality. We've also seen tenants wanting fitted out space, space that they can move into. Real change in that the year before, only 40% of Knight Frank occupiers took space. Last year, 60% of our inquiries and acquisitions were for fitted out space, so real change. Certainly, we acted for Bank Leumi in acquiring space in the city, and the reason they took it was a cost saving, a risk, de-risking it with COVID and everything, and also time management saving. They didn't have to deal with all the fit out, so real savings for clients. We also saw that there was very much a move towards well buildings, buildings that have the qualities sort of. In the last 6 months, I've acquired 5 spaces, all with roof terraces. Clients really moving to that. The Bloom in Farringdon, it's interesting that one of their big floors has a big terrace, and rather than giving it all out to that top floor tenant, they're actually going to split it and give it to other tenants lower down, because there's actually real value in keeping that for the rest of the tenants. We're seeing air conditioning, people wanting proper clear air conditioning and open windows. And the other thing is the amenities. It's really good to have not just the bicycle racks and the showers downstairs, but when we acquired space in Verde for GDST and Carwell, very much the thought was, there was a really good gym downstairs. That was really attractive to the staff, and also on the top floor there's a really good event space terrace where they could have yoga and things like that.
I mean, I think that's really interesting because, one of the things that we've been hearing a lot about over the last year is this sort of death of the office narrative, that, the fact is we don't need as much office space. But I've seen a very clear trend from occupiers to move towards better quality space that provides amenity, supports people's well-being, and is really attractive to people. I used the expression before of talent magnets, places that actually really pull people in and give them the amenity to really support their well-being, but also their productivity. And it's clear that's working through in the market. Amanda, from the flex market's been a real story in the London market over the last 5 years or so. Are you seeing that sort of same strategic intent playing through in the requirements coming through across your desk, as it were?
Yeah, absolutely. I think as clients are putting innovation, collaboration and staff development at the forefront of their real estate strategy, flexible office space can now be used as a supporting pillar for companies who are planning the real estate long-term strategy across the next 5 years. As a temporary solution or long-term solution, whichever works best for them, to sort of include all the amenity space that James is talking about, but not have to manage the space or pay for the space initially. Well, they do pay in some ways, but not pay for take vast amount of space whilst their employees are working out what and how and when they want to go back to the office. So it supports the gradual return to work policies that most companies are going to have to work through in 2021.
And the other thing about the flex market that always fascinates me is the sort of the overarching narrative in the market is that it's sort of for SMEs, it's for a particular type of company. You know, those companies that are not grown up enough, if you like, for conventional space. But it seems to me that there's a lot of demand, either unmet or slowly being fulfilled from the larger corporates. So you seeing that play through, and has that particularly ramped up in light of COVID and sort of the uncertainty that COVID has brought?
Yeah. It definitely has. We helped a global insurance company last summer relook at their real estate in London. They own an arm of sort of different insurance companies, and we're now helping them to move them into flexible office space, just because the client isn't quite ready to take a long-term lease right now. Because nobody really knows how much space to take or when to take it for. When would people want to come back to work full time in the office, or are people going to do it, 50-50 from working from home? So I think to assist with the planning, flexible office space is definitely useful for firms. It also helps them save money over a year period, and also gives them the flexibility to scale up or down, or even work from multi-locations.
I mean, I think what's fascinating about the occupational market right now is that you've got a lot of uncertainty, but you've still got those really dominant agenda items: talent, how do you attract it, how do you retain it, but also cost optimization, which is going to play through in the market for some time now. And it's clear that both of those are playing out in both the conventional and the flex side of life.